To access the Purchase Order section, click on the Purchase Order button on the main menu. This will take you to a window which lists all of the purchase orders that have been created. There are two grids on this window. The top grid lists all of the purchase orders and shows the number for each purchase order, which identifies it, the vendor who it's being sent to, and its date. If you click on one of the purchase orders in the list, the parts and materials which are in that purchase order are displayed in the bottom grid along with their quantities. Notice that there are also 4 buttons at the bottom of the window with arrow-like symbols on them. Going from left to right, the first button selects the purchase order at the top of the list. The second button selects the purchase order right above the one that's currently selected. The third button selects the purchase order right below the one that's currently selected. And the fourth button selects the purchase order at the bottom of the list. To create a new purchase order, click on the New button at the bottom left corner of the window. This opens up a window where you create a new purchase order. The purchase order number is shown near the upper left corner of the window. If you go to the right, the date for the purchase order is displayed. Today's date is automatically entered, but you can change this to whatever date you'd like. Next, you should select the vendor who you're sending the purchase order to. This is done by selecting the vendor from the Vendor ID drop-down list. The vendor's contact information automatically fills in below the Vendor ID drop-down list. The payment terms that are usually used with this vendor also automatically fill in the Terms drop-down list, but you can change the payment terms if you need to. To the right of the vendor's contact information, you can see 2 tabs called Contact Info and Order Totals. Under the Contact Info tab, you can specify a contact person from your company for the purchase order, along with phone and fax numbers, the expected delivery date, and the person who made the order. There are also 2 checkboxes under Documentation Requirements, which lets you specify whether a certificate or conformance and/or test data are required, along with the delivery of the order. If you click on the Order Totals tab, you can specify where the freight is on board, and you can see the total amount for the order. Click on the Contact Info tab to return to show the information under that tab again. To enter a new part or material on the purchase order, click on the New Detail button. This opens up a new window. Select the inventory item number for the material or part you want to add from the Item Number drop-down list. Then enter the quantity you want to order in the Quantity Ordered field. The default unit price for that item automatically fills in the unit price field, although you can change the unit price if you want. The extended price, which is the unit price multiplied by the quantity ordered, automatically fills in the extended price field. Click on the OK button to save the item onto the purchase order, or click on Cancel to exit from this window without saving the new item. To edit an existing part or material on the purchase order, click on it and then click on the Edit Detail button. This will open a window where you can edit the details about the item. Click on the OK button to save your changes, or click on the Cancel button to exit from this window without saving your changes. To delete a part or material from the purchase order, click on it and then click on the Delete Detail button. A window will pop up asking you to confirm that you want to delete the item from the purchase order. Click on the Yes button to confirm that you want to delete the item from the purchase order, or click on the No button to leave the item on the purchase order. You may also print the purchase order by clicking on the Print PO button. However, keep in mind that printing the purchase order will save it, so only print the purchase order if you're planning to save it. Click on the OK button to save the purchase order and return to the list of purchase orders, or click on the Cancel button to return to the list of purchase orders without saving the new purchase order. To edit a purchase order, click on that purchase order and then click on the Edit button. This will open a window where you can edit the purchase order. Notice that near the top of the window there's a checkbox called Closed. You can check this checkbox to indicate that the purchase order is closed. When you've finished making any changes to the purchase order, click on the OK button to save your changes and return to the list of purchase orders, or click on the Cancel button to return to the list of purchase orders without saving your changes. If you want to delete a purchase order, click on the purchase order and then click on the Delete button. You'll be asked to confirm that you want to delete the purchase order. Click on the Yes button to confirm that you want to delete the purchase order, or click on the No button to leave the purchase order alone. To print a report which shows all of the open purchase orders and the parts and materials in each, click on the Report button. If you want to print a list of open purchase orders whose dates are between a date range, use the Enter Delivery Date Range panel at the right part of the window. Type the start date of the date range into the Start Date field, and then type the end date into the End Date field. Type the dates in the form, month, day, year. Then click on the Print button to print the report. Click on the Close button to exit from the Purchase Order section of JobMaster.